I found out my brother is my fiancé and mother's child. My fiancé, 25M, and I, 24F, have been together since we were 17 and 18 years old. He's always been kind, handsome, and funny. Everyone used to say I was so lucky to have the whole package. I felt the same way. He treated me with love and respect, which is why what I've learned is so shocking to me. Growing up, my mom and I were very close. It was just the two of us against the world after my dad passed away in an accident when I was young. We always joked that we were the real-life Rory and Lorelai from Gilmore Girls. My mom dated on and off, and while the guys were usually nice, nothing ever became serious. About 4 years ago, my mom surprised me by announcing that she was pregnant. She was around 42 at the time, and although she'd been seeing someone, I hadn't met him but knew she had gone on a few dates. It was still a huge shock. She never thought she could get pregnant again at her age. She had me when she was really young, a surprise pregnancy, and I could tell she was stressed and worried. I decided to support her, as she had always supported me, and tried to reassure her. Eventually, she gave birth to my little brother, who is now 3 years old. I've been close with him since the day he was born, helping to take care of him, and I just adore the little guy. My girlfriend was also great with my brother. We take him out for ice cream, to the playground, or to the pool in the summer. Nothing ever seemed out of the ordinary. It was just my boyfriend at the time spending time with my brother and me. But here's how I found out the truth. My fiancé and I have been living together since we finished college. One night, he was out with friends, and I stayed home to relax. While I was binge-watching a series on Netflix, my laptop died. Feeling too lazy to get my charger, I grabbed my iPad instead. I knew the password but had never really used it before. When it logged in, a bunch of messages started pinging. He hadn't used the iPad in a while either, it seemed. This caught my attention, so I decided to check them out. That's when I found everything. My mom's number wasn't saved under her name, but I recognized it and verified it with my phone. The messages revealed that she was feeling guilty and thought I should know the truth. My fiancé responded that he also felt guilty, but couldn't bear the thought of losing me. They both admitted they had messed up. My mom said it was unfair for my brother to never know his real dad and questioned how my fiancé could continue acting like a brother-in-law instead of a father. I broke down. What the F? There weren't a lot of older messages, just some photos stored of my brother as a newborn, my mom pregnant, and more photos of my brother growing up in an album. I couldn't anymore. I cried for what seems like ages, and I wait for my boyfriend to come back home. I wish I was one of those women that can pretend and get things together before confronting the cheater, but I can't. He came back later that night around 23:30, and I just gave him the iPad with the conversation opened and saw his face completely go pale. I asked for an explanation, and he didn't want it at first, but knew he had to. Apparently a few years back while I was traveling with some friends, girls trip, my fiancé and mom had dinner together. This isn't strange since he has been part of the family for so long. Sometimes mom and fiancé would eat together at our place even if I was busy with sports or out. I did the same with his parents. Somehow, unclear how since he couldn't explain it well, one thing led to another, and they ended up sleeping together. They felt guilty, but apparently not guilty enough because they slept together 2 to 3 more times, using the excuse of meeting up to discuss how to tell me. Apparently when my mom got pregnant, they stopped sleeping together and decided not to tell me since my fiancé loved me and couldn't lose me, and my mom didn't want to lose her daughter. So here we are now, with 2 of the most disgusting humans. I obviously broke the engagement, told my mom to never talk to me again, and moved in with a friend. I feel bad for my brother since I really love him, but I can't be around him now. I just can't. I feel like it would remind me of all those times we talked about having kids. I would be his baby mama, only baby mama. We talked about this future since we were 17 years old, so I want to puke every time I think about how I was actually taking care of his child with someone else while still having those dreams. I want to puke. First update. As I was afraid, I was indeed confronted near my office this week. I knew this was coming, but thought maybe I had more time. My ex was the person to come find me. Yesterday, Wednesday, after finishing work and walking to where my car was parked, my ex was sort of lingering, waiting around. I thought about running, not gonna lie, but I guess in the moment I felt strong enough to get over with it instead of having that hanging above my head waiting to be approached again. He asked if we could talk, and I said yes, but I didn't feel like having that conversation over coffee like we were old friends. It felt ridiculous, so I told him to just talk right there. We were in the streets, but somehow it wasn't crowed, but also not completely lonely, felt right. He basically said sorry 100 times, and that I deserved better. I agreed. He said he did love me, and that he still does, but he would understand why I wouldn't want anything to do with him. He said that if I did in fact consider giving him a chance, that he would go to therapy, alone, or together, or both, and that he would work hard to win my trust back. I told him it wasn't possible. There was too much damage. This sounds calm when I type it, but in the moment things came out more with a louder tone and harsher words. Anyways, he did say that he is in the, or will be, it was a bit of a blur process of getting custody, partly from my brother, and that he in fact does want to be a dad to him. He said he does not want to be together with my mom, and that it was just a stupid mistake, sure, 4 to 5 times mistake is just a random thing. He couldn't explain why he did it in the first place. I think he doesn't even know himself. I asked if he cheated with someone else before, and he said no, not sure if to believe it, but he sounded honest. I asked why he didn't come clean, and he said that after he did the deed, he always felt panicked, and it hit him that he could lose me, and he just didn't want to. I told him it was meant to be found out. What was his plan? To have my brother around and ignore their relationship forever? He said he didn't think far enough and that he was basically going with the idea of one day at a time type of survival. I asked him if he felt that my mom seduced him. He said it was mutual, which made me want to puke again. I asked if he has any contact with my mom since I found out. He said yes, but mostly about my brother, didn't elaborate more, and I didn't press for more info on that. He said he told his parents the day before or the day before that he was not sure, Monday through Tuesday, about everything. The parents were not happy, but they are glad to start building now a relationship with my brother, their grandkid. Honestly, all of this felt like a punch in my stomach. I don't know why. The parents wanted to contact me, but he told them to wait till he approached me first, hence why he was here. I asked if he started or thought about the custody before I found out, and he said no, but when I found out, it was like the push he needed. Great. It seems I helped him get his shit together, and this past week he was arranging all of that mess. That's why he hasn't tried to see me before. He sounded and looked defeated, but the whole thing made me, besides sad, angry. I was mainly depressed before, but now I'm furious. I feel like he is still in an okay place, and he isn't paying for his actions beyond me leaving him. He will have my brother, his parents, and others and move on with his life. Well, I lost everything. I hate him. We parted ways, not on a happy note, and I told him to never get near me again. I was done. He asked me to see my brother still, that I was important to him, and tried to guilt-trip me, and it worked, but I still think I can't. I don't know much about my mom, and really hope she doesn't come find me anytime soon because I'm fuming right now and won't be able to handle it. I'll be contacting my family and friends, and finally doing the blasting today. I think it is about time, and after my talk with him, I got the extra push I needed. Second update. A lot has happened. I did the blasting, and this is how it went down. I first posted on my family's Facebook group we share. This is from my mom's family side. I used inspiration from what you all suggested in my last post and said something around the lines of, I want to communicate to you all that my wedding with X has been permanently canceled since I found out that my mom, name, and my ex, name, had in the last few years a sexual relationship that resulted in the birth of my little brother, name. I had no clue of any of this, and I found out about it last week. I won't have moving forward a relationship with name, mom, and ex, name, for obvious reasons. I would appreciate your understanding, and I felt it was only fair to let you know of the situation, since I value transparency and honesty above all. I also included a screenshot of my mother's message, what I said to her once I found out, and a message she managed to write back before I blocked her. Didn't open the message till before the blasting. I didn't want to hear, read, her, and be persuaded. It exploded. I had family reaching out via text and calling the whole day after the blasting. I would say most were very supportive, and I could tell they were just shocked. There were a few neutral and some suspicious that it wasn't the whole story and maybe I misunderstood. My grandparents were in the maybe you misunderstood category, which wasn't surprising since my mom is super close to my grandparents, and like I said before, my mom was always a good mom. So no red flags. I will be moving with a cousin that is more like a sister to me. I haven't reached out to her previously because I knew once she knew everyone would. That's why I went to my friend's place. My cousin is devastated on my behalf and offered I live with her and her 2 kids until I can get my feet on the ground. I accepted and will be moving next week. I'm a bit afraid this will give my mom easier access to me, but I can't stay at my friend's place forever. I then proceeded quickly to post a similar message from we share most of our friends since high school and local university, friends on Instagram. I created a close friends story and tagged most of them too. This went sort of viral in our friend group. Actually, one of my friends sent me my Reddit post and asked if this was me. I confirmed. They were also shocked and speechless. They never thought my ex would even remotely do anything like this. They said, he was crazy about you. Oh well, apparently he went overboard on the crazy part. The group of friends is divided at the moment. Some are completely on my side, and some are thinking it isn't the whole truth. I told everyone that reached out that if they don't believe me to ask their friend if he's asking for custody of my little brother, that kind of shut them up for now. My ex deleted his social media, apparently. Also, my ex's parents called me like I guess they would. They were kind to me and were very sorry about everything. I got the feeling they're also overwhelmed and very disappointed. However, it was clear they would be supporting their son. They are very upset at my mother and don't want anything to do with her, but they are not sure how that will work with my little brother and everything else. They tried to give me info about the custody and what my ex is up to now, but I shut that down quickly and told them I don't want any info. I want to move on. I also asked them not to reach out in the near future because I needed distance, especially if they would be supporting my ex. He is living with his parents at the moment. Also, my ex and my mother after the blast were going nuts trying to reach out to me. They tried calling my friend, who she blocked them, and reaching out from different numbers. I had to put my phone on silence and ignore everyone. However, my mother sent me a long text from another number, and that was a weird text. She said that I was being cruel and that she didn't think she raised me that way. She said she thought we had a better relationship than me blasting out laundry like that without talking to her first, that I didn't have the whole picture. She did mention something that confused me. She said in her long text that the reason she slept with my ex is because he reminded him of my dad, that it was grief. She didn't mean to use him to heal her pain, but she wasn't strong enough. I don't even know what that means. Like, did she think that my ex looks physically like my dad? Or personality? Or what? I have seen photos of my dad, and well, yeah, my ex isn't super different, but also not super alike. I mean, they share brown/dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, but that's not so uncommon. I don't see what else. I don't know. That threw me for a loop, and honestly makes me want to confront my mom just to know what the hell. From all the things she could say, I was not expecting that. I'm holding on better. I don't cry every hour or want to murder them. But I'm still sad and upset, and it just feels like it isn't my life. That is a big joke or a bad dream, and I will wake up to my normal life. I also need to really start planning my future and start applying for jobs in other cities, or maybe check the possibilities abroad more seriously. I might as well take 2 to 3 days off work to really get my thoughts together and do some research. I'm terrified though. I feel frozen, but I know I need to start moving. The laundry wouldn't be dirty if you hadn't effed my boyfriend on it. Third update. My group of friends is divided. Some of his closest friends have been saying that I should give him another chance, that no one is perfect but he loves me, that he was always good to me, and I shouldn't just turn my back on him. They even said that Max, little brother, and I could be a perfect little family, and that I could make sure that my little brother has a good stepmom. Who better than his blood relative, right? This is so bullshit. They're talking like he messed up on something minor or even medium, like he lied about getting laid off work, or like he forgot to pay our bills for a month, like WTF. I have some girlfriends that are complete on my side and supporting me, which is nice. But our group friend isn't solid anymore, and everyone is taking sides. I did have a conversation with Max on the phone, though. I admit I had a bit to drink that night since I was coming back from meeting some friends for dinner, and I had a few glasses of wine and a cocktail. But I remember the talk. Disclaimer. This is not the exact conversation, but I will put what I remember to the best of my abilities. Me. Do you think that you were groomed? Max, I never thought of that, but maybe? Me. How did you even get a crush on my mom? I thought we always hung out in a group, and my mom wasn't really there more than a few minutes in passing by. Was it looks? Max. Yes and no. I thought she was pretty, and therefore the teen crush, but I then also tried to talk to her by passing through your house and asking if you were there. He knew I wasn't, and then had a chat with your mom. Me. Was I always second choice? Max. No, you aren't now. Me. And back then, when you asked me to be your girlfriend. Max. Silence. Me. Tell me the truth, please. Max, I don't know. I did like you, but I still had the crush. Me. Do you want to be with her now? Max, God, no. Me. Why did you do it, Max? Get her out of your system? So you still wanted her? Did you want her during the times we had sex? Max, no, don't. I only wanted you. I don't know. I felt like those Wallow moments. I thought I would give my teen self what he always wanted. I felt so stupid. Me. Then why did you do it more times? Max, I really don't know. We were silent a lot, and not long after we hung up. It was a short call, and honestly emotional. I was sort of drunkish, and he seemed emotionally drained too. I feel stupid for opening up and calling him and asking those questions. I said 1,000 times I don't want to know more, but I was weak. Every time I feel like moving on, I get hit again by everything. My brain can't understand yet. On my mom front, well, not a lot has happened. She continues to try to fix it. My grandparents reached out to me, but I didn't answer. I'm sure they were trying to give me support. Last update. I'm moving to Spain. I got a job as an au pair near one of the biggest cities in Spain. I'm so excited. I'm flying out in a few days, on September 1st. Curse my American-centered date standards and my dyslexia. The kids are adorable too. I'll be learning Spanish, which I've always wanted to do anyway, so it all feels heaven-sent. I haven't told almost anyone about it, just a few friends I trust, and of course my cousin who I live with. Also my boss. My mother has been telling people I'm being mean to her when she wants to fix everything. She made a mistake and is trying to fix it, but I'm being difficult. She is just human. Not surprising. I'm now really coming to terms with how self-centered she is and has always been. I'm sad I lost a mom I thought I had. It feels like she died. My new therapist, yes, I got one the last week, yes, said I'm grieving. Max has left me a bit alone since the last call we had. I heard he is focusing on my little brother and just staying under the radar. I have had some short phone calls with my little brother, which has been bittersweet, but he is doing okay. He, of course, doesn't know what's really happening, but he is happy with having a new dad. It doesn't hurt as much as it did before, but still hurts. Thank you all for all the support.